lad, just see it, the scene is getting. Welcome! Get in! Get in!
Come on! Get in there!
Shade up, boys!
Yeah.
Shade up! Woo! We're back with the bang! We're back with the bang. We're going to talk about Newcastle in a second, but go on, Leeds! Go on, Leeds! I love it. Love it. We will talk a bit about that as well, boys. But this is the reaction show to Newcastle versus Burnley. And let's say hello to the boys first. The weekend can start now. Pete, how are you?
I'm great. I'm absolutely great. I wasn't this morning though. I was feeling it. I was out with the 12th man lads on in London last night, and it was a long night. Lots happened, and all I can remember is about 3 a.m. me and Dan United going at it, telling each other how shit our clubs are. So he was telling me how crap Newcastle are, and I was telling him how shit Man United are, and it was glorious. Me in the Uber singing Ruben Amorim forever really wound him up because he does not want him in the club. But great night. Feeling the effects, but hey, what makes you all feel better? 3 points on the board, lads. Hey, right now. So all good with me. Chris, how are you fella? How's things?
All good, mate, particularly after the last 5 minutes. I had to quickly look at the clock. I was like, Jesus, we're going live in a few minutes. When I thought up here, I was too busy enjoying the collapse. 2-0 up, seemingly looking comfortable, going to 2-2. Then the inevitable happened. They went 3-2 up, and then obviously there was scenes when Leeds equalised in our house. So yeah, it's been a good day. Been a good day, albeit I feel like this afternoon should have been a little bit more comfortable than it was. But ultimately, boys, as we all know, the most important thing was the 3 points, and obviously, climbing up that league table. So that is the most important thing. But that's that. How are you, mate?
I'm great. I did see some of the pictures and clips from Pete's adventures last night, and the games you were playing. Look good. I liked it. Wolfie and Dan Lawrence was all playing that what was the bowling kind of thing you were playing?
Yeah, it's called shuffleboard. It's called shuffleboarding. So great game. We played it last year around Christmas, and we did it again. Really great game. We did it in teams last year, so it was me, Wolfie, and Dan United, but they split us up. They did it on purpose. They didn't want us together because we were too good for them. So
were there any team names?
No, we just did it individual.
All right.
Yes, it was like basically played against each other, but on varying different types of games. It was really good. We should try and see if there's one somewhere and definitely give it a go. But yeah, great. So I've got some videos to show you anyway. When we get top table talk, maybe we'll put a couple of them on. That'd be good.
But apart from that, and then we're going to get into the Newcastle game, but that Liverpool game, first of all, the Liverpool Leeds game, I literally, I'm not messing, and I've said this before, I'm some kind of a jinx for Liverpool, and I love it. I turned on the TV, 5 seconds, Ekitike scores. I said, fuck this, I'm turning it off. It's my fault that they scored. Then I look at my phone again, and they're 2-0 up. I said, maybe it's not me. I'm not watching this game anymore. I was sending that to Pete, and then the bang, they came back. So I'm delighted. They owe me. Leeds, you owe me one. But let's get into this game, lads. Let's get into our own game, because lots to talk about in this one. Rightio, let's start with the team news for Newcastle. Lewis Hall ill, or was he ill? I saw this on the internet. Thought it was a good one. Who was the favorite there? Wissa on the bench, ready to make his debut. Tonali on the bench. Gordon in for Barnes, and a chance for a few to impress, and a few to take a rest as well. Bear that in mind as well as we go through the performance today as well. But Pete, actually, hang on. This is the Burnley team news as well as our own bench being well stacked with Hall, J7, Tonali, Wissa, Barnes, the Murphys and Miley. Burnley, they had Steve, Big Les talked out for them, but no, Tuna did not make the starting 11. And if you don't know what I'm talking about there, you have to go back and watch the big match preview. But Pete, thoughts on the Newcastle team news?
I love that. I love that with the names. They still make me laugh.
That was funny.
Joe. If anyone's missed the preview, Joe's brilliant. He was brilliant on our show. So go back and check it out. And it's easy to check it back when you know that we've won the game as well. One of surprise, lads. I'm not going to lie. One of surprise. I didn't expect as many changes to the team. But I was also intrigued, lads. I've got to be honest, I was intrigued by it. In particular, I was intrigued by our midfield. So having Ramsey in, I was buzzing about because I've said it for weeks. I really wanted him to start playing matches. Intrigued to see Willock in there along with Bruno, knowing that Tonali might not be thrown into that game. I thought they might have gone with Joe Linton, but they went with Willock. And I was really intrigued to see how that midfield three would play together, because it's a midfield three that really hasn't played together before. So yeah, that intrigued me a lot. Good to see Elanga get another start. If you remember, we talked about midweek in the match reaction to Spurs. It's a case of I said he doesn't play his best football coming off the bench. So was he able to do it from the beginning and impact the game? And then the Lewis Hall situation. Look, I have an opinion on it. I don't look whether he was ill or not. We don't know. We don't know whether he was ill or not. But what I will say is that Dan Burns starting left back is just another reminder to me of how important it is that we get a left back signed in January. When I saw Dan Burn left back, it wasn't he's left back again, like some fans were on social media. I've come to expect that he is the backup left back, because if Hall is ill and he needs to be kind of managed, that's fine. But that's what we've got in backup. So we've just, as a fan base, we've just got to put up with it. But it just shows that we need to go straight from there in January. It's really, really important that we get another left back in. We're not in a position with Trippier being out that Tino can just fill in there, and we've got someone else to go right back, which normally would be the situation. We haven't got that at the moment because Trippier is injured. So it just goes to show we need a specialist left back to come in, an understudy to Hall, so that we don't have to use Dan Burn in that situation. Now, if he was ill, fair enough. If we're managing him, fair enough. He's played a bit of football recently. He played midweek as well. Let's not forget. And Eddie Howe did say in his press conference, he's still managing Lewis Hall back into being fit. He's still putting up a cramp towards the end of the games. We have to manage him. And he'll probably play in these next two games against Leverkusen and against Sunderland in the derby, because we need our best team out there for both of those games, because both of those games have things riding on it. So I kind of understood why that was the case. But just the overriding thing with the Lewis Hall situation is we need a left back in January. Absolutely priority. So that's me with the lineup, lads. Great to see Steve and Tuna and Sir Les. I was referred to as Sir Les.
Oh, it wasn't Sir Les. If it was Sir Les, we would have been in trouble, especially if I wanted corners ahead. But Chris, thoughts on the team news for Newcastle?
Yeah, I'll be honest, boys. I was nervous when I saw the midfield three, and the reason being is obviously, as Pete said, that midfield three haven't started before together. But also, maybe I was scarred from previous years. I don't know, but I was thinking, right. So if we've got Willock and we've got Ramsey, that means Bruno's playing in the six. So that worried me a little bit. I just felt like it was given. I know I get the whole rotation thing, and I was saying to my mates this afternoon, I'm hoping and I'm expecting, by the way, not hoping, I'm expecting this squad to be, one, pretty much injury-free. So I'm expecting, because players are getting loads of rest, and also I'm expecting them to look super fit as we get towards the end of the season, because everybody's minutes are being managed. So I'm hoping that we feel the effects of that and we get the benefits of that. But so the midfield three worried me a touch. I can't lie. I was a bit annoyed at myself actually, because you know how much pride I take in the starting 11, and Pete mentioned on away days with Joe. Pete mentioned on away days that, for him, Gordon would have started. And when I saw Gordon start, I thought, yeah, do you know what? It makes sense because Harvey Barnes has been playing a lot of football recently. Obviously, off the back of getting his penalty, a little bit of confidence, bring him in the team. So, that made a lot of sense. I think we both said Elanga, didn't we, Pete? We both felt Elanga was going to start the game and he deserved to. So, that was right. I was going to say the back four picks itself. That's probably overstepping it a bit, but, there'll be certain players within that back four who pick themselves, and obviously the goalkeeper. But yeah, obviously, as you've already alluded to, Pete, seeing Dan Burn at left back. The thing that baffled me with the Lewis Hall situation was if he's ill, then he shouldn't be on the bench. And then when he was on the bench, I was thinking, well, he's not going to come on. It will be precautionary, you know what I mean? And then he comes on, and I'm like, right, okay, fair enough. But again, hopefully we'll reap the rewards of that. And obviously, if Hall isn't quite right, then fair enough, don't start him. But obviously, I want to see Lewis Hall start as many football matches as possible. But yeah, you're right, Pete, in what you're saying about needing another left back. I seem to remember seeing an article the other day suggesting Matt Targett could be the answer to all our problems in January. I'm not quite sure if that's the case.
No,
I won't go that far. But
if he's the answer, Chris, what's
the question?
What's the question?
Yeah.
And that's not to you. That's the question to the person that's writing the article, because that is not right.
Yeah. The question there is who did we leave behind on a preseason friendly? I think that's the question.
Yeah. That's chipper. Yeah, but yeah, I think I mean I still felt we had enough to beat Burnley today. But yeah, I just had those question marks around the lineup. It did concern me a touch, but obviously it was great to see our new number 9 on the bench as well. That really lifted spirits. And obviously there was loads of videos. I think you boys posted them as well. Loads of videos of Yoane Wissa turning up to St James's Park. I believe he was the first one there, eager to get going, which is brilliant. So yeah, I still went into the game confident. So yeah, that was my thoughts on the lineup. What about you, Daz? Did you have any concerns?
Yeah. And Wissa, no, he looks really, really eager to shine for Newcastle. And delighted that he's back, and delighted that he's not going to AFCON. I'll do the Roy Keane thing though. Man turns up for work 100 days after we signed him. Let's get started. He's still having the target. I want 15 goals, Wissa. I know it's a lot, especially with what's left, but 15 goals. Justify your price tag.
Just before we start, by the way, there's a couple of people in the chat, and I've just got to make this clear, boys. I've got to make this clear. David Williams is saying sunglasses on for that performance joke, and then Aaron Kane is saying I wouldn't put the sunglasses on, to be honest. The result was the main thing, but the performance wasn't great considering they've been down to 10 men for most of the game. Expected better. Boys, got to be clear. The shades go on when we get the 3 points, and when we look back in time to come, we will just see the score and we'll see the 3 points, and that ultimately that's why we got them on. I take your point over the elements of the performance, but it's all about the 3 points.
Would you rather that we this is, I can see where people are coming from as well, but would you rather we had our first team out, our best squad available, than lose in Leverkusen and lose the derby? We have to manage this 3 games in 7 days. So for me, getting a win and by resting a third of our starting 11, not so bad for me, and rock on into the games coming up. Did you want to get in there as well, Pete?
What did I say to you, Daz, before we went live? Literally, I said this to you, is that I'm not having this. I'm not saying anyone in our chat's negative with those comments, by the way, but I saw some negativity online after the game about, we'll get into it, the goal conceded, the penalty last minute, all the rest of it. I'm not having it. Lads and lasses in the chat, I'm not having it. Right, we won today. We won. We probably deserved to win on Tuesday, and we didn't. And that's how close and how fine margined these games are. We win. We get the 3 points. We wear the sunglasses. As simple as that. Because we've done what we turned up to do today, is to win the match and to secure the points, and secure the points on the board. We did. And so we're going to celebrate it, because, hey, there'll be games this season where we probably play amazing football and don't win matches, and we'll be frustrated. So whether we played amazing today or not, or it wasn't as convincing as we'd have liked it to be, we secured the points on the board. It's that simple. And that's that. I'll explain a little bit more on it. It's a little bit of what I wanted to talk about, and I said this to Daz before we went live. It's a little bit of what I wanted to talk about. I'll expand on it once Daz has given us the quality run through of the game, because there's lots of talking points, there's lots of things to discuss. So Daz, we'll crack on with it, fella. Go for it, mate.
Rightio, let's go. Burnley out of the traps early. First bit of thing to note for Newcastle came after 7 minutes. Willock with the ball in. Unlucky that Gordon did not meet the cross. Now it was kind of getting away from him, so you can't really blame him on that one. 9 minutes, Jacob Ramsey with a gift from Gordon. It's not even Christmas, but he's coming with gifts. Comes off his tie though, and then trickles away. Should have finished it. Just unlucky that it trickled away from him. 10 minutes in, Big Nick has a shot blocked after a good interception from Willock to start the move. He needed more power on that finish. Newcastle under pressure and not dealing with the Burnley corners. It was a succession of Burnley corners, and they were going dangerously close with them as well. There was heads going. Big Nick was back there. Byrne was back there to try and clear those corners. 27 minutes, Gordon with a shot off the post after some good build-up. Then on 30 minutes, we get a corner. We got our first corner of the game. Who's going to take it? This man steps up. Bruno Guimarães. My captain. He scores from the corner, boys. What a ball in, and he meant it as well. He tries it again later in the game, but loops over. Dubs, familiar to everyone. Dubs, back of the net. Bruno with the goal. I'm having that corner flag. I'm going to bring that home for me, and cue all the celebrations for Bruno as per normal. Even his midfield buddies get into the action. Boys, what did you make of that corner? Gordon was slightly distracting Dubs as well on the line as it looped into it, but some finish from Bruno from the corner. I think it's the first ever goal Newcastle have scored from a corner.
Oh, go on, Chris. Go for it.
There's only one man who can answer this. I mean, like I want to hear from Pete on the goal, and I also want to hear from Pete on the goalkeeping.
Where do we start? I feel like I need to stretch and just
warm up for it.
It's a stunning corner. You know what? I was surprised that Bruno was stepping up to take corners, and apart from one that went near post not long after that goal, I thought he was really good on set pieces today. I think it's one that we need to maybe take advantage of. It's a lovely goal, a brilliant ball in. It was clearly a tactic, by the way, to stick it on Dubravka and to put it into an area, because as we know for the years that he's been in goal for Newcastle United, is he doesn't like to come off his line. He likes to stick to his line. So one of those things was a case of get big men around him and just stick it on him. As you mentioned, Daz, when you get players around him and restrict his movement, he was very restricted, and it's just whipped to the back. You know what? It's a stunning goal. It really, really is a stunning goal, because it's not like it's deflected in or whatever. Like, it's literally right into that far corner. The width, the bend on the ball, the height, everything about it is perfect. It's such a good goal and a lovely finish. But this is Martin Dubravka. And this is one of the big reasons why I was very happy to see him move on. He's been a good servant for Newcastle United, but there are lots of mistakes in his game. And one of them is this. He wasn't as commanding in his box or around his area, and it was a concern. And yeah, I've not been convinced on Dubravka for a while. For as good as he's been at Burnley, fair play to him. For me, this is one of the big reasons why I was quite happy to see him gone, and yet it was just almost justification for me in my reasonings of how I've been, because I've been quite vocal with him, and people might not have liked it, people might have not agreed with my opinion on it over the years, but I feel like it's justified in that moment. But a superb goal for Newcastle United, and one that we deserved. We deserved it because after a really poor 10 minutes, I have to say, after a really poor 10 minutes, I thought we stepped it up and we started to play some good football and we started to really stick it on Burnley and have wave of attack. And I think that was an accumulation of that. Something that we didn't do against Spurs in the first half on Tuesday, remember, lads, is that we had all that domination and great play, but we didn't create the moment to score a goal. And that was it. That was the accumulation of a really good kind of attacking phase for Newcastle United. So buzzing all around. Great goal from Bruno. Poor from Dubs. Thank you, Dubs, for being so poor and allowing us to take the lead. Happy days. Chris, tell us your thoughts, man.
Mate, it was just a beautiful corner. But yeah, like yourself, Pete, I particularly like the tactics. Obviously, a little bit of homework had gone in, a little bit of obviously knowing a lot about Martin Dubravka and the fact that maybe he's not great in terms of commanding his area and maybe coming out for crosses. I really liked actually the commentary and obviously seeing the footage of the fact that Anthony Gordon's just in and around him and he's just there, isn't he? He's just in the way. He's not fouling him, but he's just there. And then just as the ball gets nearer to Martin Dubravka, you just see him just like knock into him, just to take him slightly off balance. So it was a really, really well worked goal in terms of the collective. But what a great corner. And it was quite funny, wasn't it? It was a few minutes later, Bruno tried it again, but it didn't quite come off. But no, great goal. And I made up. You know what, boys? It was funny when Bruno hit that goal, and obviously he celebrates, with his usual 114 celebrations. As he's doing it, I'm like, how good's he been this season? How pivotal has Bruno Guimarães been this season? He's really, really stepped up. And when I was looking at my fantasy football team yesterday, and Bruno's one of the highest scoring midfielders. I don't even know whether he is the highest scoring midfielder now after today. I'm not sure, but he was right up there. And I thought it just goes to show the outputs that he's given us this season. And I think he, more than anybody, is benefiting from this rotation and investing the players and time management in terms of minutes. Because obviously in the last game he came on, impacted the game. And then he started today, and he's been fantastic. So, but yeah, great goal, and much deserved as well. It was good highlighting that, Pete, because in many occasions, we've gone 1-0 up this season, and you thought, great that we've gone 1-0 up, but it was tight and could have gone either way. But today, we absolutely deserve to go 1-0 up.
Yeah. Can I just, before you come in, Daz, can I just add on to what Chris said, because you've made a really good point, and something that I talked about with one of the lads, Emeka, Newcastle fan as well, earlier on today, is that you made a really good point. For me, this is Bruno's best season for Newcastle United so far.
Yeah,
the influence in the game that he's having, he's scoring big goals in big moments, but he's also creating big goals and big moments. He's having an impact on the game, and you're absolutely right, Chris, what you said. Emma asked the same question to the lad in the chat earlier. Is Bruno the high-scoring midfielder in the Premier League this season? And we were looking into it, and it was I had a look into it, and Mikel Merino, I think, has got 5. But do you really class him as a midfielder because he's played a lot of games up front? Like, you probably don't add him. The only one I think, and I could be wrong on this because I didn't look at that deeply at it, the only one I think came close to him was Enzo Fernandez at Chelsea, who also has 5, and that's kind of all competitions. But it just goes to show how important Bruno is, and to already have 5 goals at the halfway mark, when normally Bruno will get about 5-6 goals in a season, tells you the impact that he's already had for Newcastle United. So massive influence on the game. He is our captain, but he's having big, important saves in matches today, and this was just another one. So it's a really good point to make, and one I was going to talk about anyway. So I'm glad you brought it up at that point, because I think it just goes to show he's had 1 or 2 off games, but every player does. Yeah. Every player does, and we always, like, as fans of football, not just of Newcastle, we always tend to emphasize the negative games over the good games, but he has had the vast majority of good games for Newcastle United, with only a few off games. Those good games have been very good games and really big performances. So sorry to interrupt that on that, but I just want to jump in.
Sorry, Daz, I want to jump in as well. Just to quickly answer Pete's question, because I've just very quickly went on to fantasy football. Okay, so Bruno Guimarães is the third top scoring midfielder in the game. So he's on 78 points, and above him only is Declan Rice and Antoine Semenyo. They're the two ahead of him in terms of pure midfielders, if you like. And you could argue Antoine Semenyo is probably more like a left forward, isn't he? So, you know, in terms of pure central midfielders, it's only Declan Rice who's 4 points ahead of him. Now, in terms of goals scored, again, Semenyo has got 6, Foden has got 6, Neto has got 5, and Bermo has got 5, and so has Bruno. Bruno has 5, so he's literally 1 goal off the top.
And some of them are wingers.
Yeah.
And some of them are more attacking midfielders.
All of them are wingers, mate. All the ones above them are wingers.
Yeah, Foden sometimes plays in that little pocket as a number 10, but can play out wide. So if you're looking at pure centre midfielders, he's probably top of the bunch. Well, he is top of the bunch from what you just pulled up there. So that's the crucial data there. Pure centre midfielders, he is the highest scoring, and I think Enzo's I think on the same goals, but in all competitions. So love that. So sorry, Dad.
No, when you compare it to Rice there, like with Arsenal, they brought in Zubimendi, who allows Rice to move further forward. We put Tonali in the 6, who allowed, maybe not today because he wasn't playing until the very end, but it allowed Bruno to and he's contributing more and thread that pass. He's the only one. Well, Gordon actually did it a few times today as well, threading a nice pass through. We'll talk about that in a second. But no, I absolutely love Bruno. He is unbelievable, and what a signing he has been for us. And he doesn't want to go anywhere. You'd have to drag him away from Newcastle. And answer your question, Chris. There's a spinning wheel created on the fly as you were speaking there. So we will have a members draw, but I want you guys to smash the like button as well. Come on, we're after getting 3 points. We're moving on up the table. E-I-E-I-E-I-O and all that. Were you pointing there, Pete? Did you want to say something?
Yeah, obviously, people in the chat, you'll see that our Loaded Mag partner, Stream Elements, is putting some reminders in for people in the chat. We've got nearly 200 in the chat. We do have a super chat, so there's a reminder there to anyone wants a super chat. We will come straight to those questions as priority. So get your super chats in. Of course, if you fancy buying us a beer to celebrate the win, why not? Why not? And we will gladly drink it. I'll switch my beer to a brandy, but these boys will have a beer. Maybe even a Guinness. These boys drink Guinness. I don't. I'll have the old brandy. But yeah, why not?
I was watching the Guinness video there the other day. I must send it on to you boys. Especially, I know Chris, you like the Guinness, but Pete, we actually have to bring you on board with the Guinness. It's a good little video, actually, especially the start of it. Yeah.
Boys, on that note, let me just quickly go to that super chat that Pete mentioned.
Oh, yes, do that first.
Sheila X Parallel Lines X. Sheila, thank you so much for the super chat. Much appreciated. And Sheila says, well said, Pete. Love it. Get in. Positive Pete. We have got positive Pete today. We have. And also, we've had another super chat in just then. Thank you very much, D. Grimshaw. Thank you very much for your super chat. Next time, get a comment in, get a question in, and we'll come to it. But thank you both for those super chats.
We've got a positive panel tonight. We're happy. We're buzzing at the 3 points. So there's a positive panel here tonight. But yeah, thank you for your super chats, people. And you're only going to get positivity here tonight. So stick around and listen to it. Get your thoughts and opinions in.
Right, let's crack on, boys. 35 minutes, Walker collects a yellow card as he takes down Gordon, which I was hoping it might quieten him a bit for the rest of the game, and Gordon couldn't get at him. He kind of did at different points in time after that. But Gordon then, 40 minutes for Gordon to Elanga, who couldn't get there fast enough, which is ironic for Elanga. And the second phase shot was saved at that point. 42 minutes, Elanga again through with the exceptional ball from Gordon, threaded through 1-on-1 with the keeper, taken down and out by Perez, who was talked about on the big match preview as well. But Burnley go down to 10 men as Perez sees red. The resulting free kick is taken by Sharp and it's saved by Dubs. Definite red, lads, on that one, yeah?
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
100. I think the red card's not even in question, really. It's a Stonewall. It's a Stonewall red card if you ever saw one. For me, I'm just going to focus on two things. The ball from Anthony Gordon was outstanding, by the way. It was an outstanding pass. Lovely, lovely ball. But equally, the run of Elanga was brilliant. Just ran in the diagonal, put across the defender, asked the question to multiple defenders that can't pick him up in that moment. Every bit of that move was brilliant. And Elanga's in. And whether he scores or not, it remains to be seen. But he was directly in on goal with an opportunity to score with his next touch. And so it's a Stonewall. But love to see. You know what, lads? We're seeing a lot more inward runs from our wingers this season. So Harvey Barnes has been doing it. Obviously, he had a lot of starts recently. He's making a lot of diagonal inward runs into the middle, and I don't know whether that's obviously because Walter made it Walter, I'll get that right, dropped a little bit deeper to allow those runs. I know we touched on it that's going to need to happen with Voltamada dropping a little bit deeper, but we're seeing it now. Those diagonal inward runs, it's not just all out wide. They're making inward runs to ask different questions of our wingers. So Elanga was doing it brilliantly. Barnes does it well. Gordon did it a few times in the game, but the pass from Gordon was superb. And from a central area as well, which just goes to show that the points in which our players are picking up the ball are very, very different to that rigid 4-4-3, stay out wide, only receive the ball out wide, etc., etc. We're playing a different style, and you can see the evolution of what Eddie Howe's trying to do with his team. But yeah, I just wanted to add that because I just thought, I thought Gordon was good today. I really did. I thought he had a good game. He was out to impress, and yeah, I was pleased with what I saw. So brilliant move, Stonewall.
Exactly, it was. But 49 minutes, Burnley's Big Les, like that, Joe, handballs in the box. VAR goes to on-field review, and it's a Newcastle penalty right before half-time. Who's going to take it? There's only one man that's going to step up, isn't there? Big Nick isn't going to get near it because Anthony Gordon with the ball makes it 2-0 as he sends Dubs the wrong way. Cue the celebrations from Anthony Gordon, and that takes us to half-time. Boys, Gordon's penalty and the first half performance.
Go for it, Chris. Go on, mate.
I thought it was a really, really good pen. That was probably the most confident pen I've seen Gordon take. Literally sent above. I mean, we know it was funny actually because Lisa was saying to me, sat next to me, she went, "He doesn't look confident. He doesn't look confident." And I said, to be honest, this is how he always looks. He's very focused, loads of deep breaths, doesn't look at the goalkeeper. So you get that with Gordon anyway. But it was funny because in my head I was thinking, Dubravka's not very good at penalties. That's all I kept telling myself.
Who's been telling you that, Chris?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I just have it in my head, and yeah, he sends Dubravka the wrong way, but he finishes it emphatically. And I actually think even if Dubravka had gone the right way, he probably still wouldn't have saved it. It was a really well taken penalty. Again, yes, it's from the spot, but it's only going to increase Anthony Gordon's confidence. I always look at celebrations. When players are maybe not in the form that, when they're a little bit low on confidence and stuff like that, and you could see Anthony Gordon, it meant a lot to him. So yeah, it was great finish. And to touch on what we said earlier, it was a Stonewall penalty, and going in, getting that second goal just before half time was so vital. So yeah, I'll be honest, I would still like Big Nick Voltamada on the penalties. I can't lie, but I cannot take anything away from Anthony Gordon today because it was a really well taken penalty. And 2-0 half time, buzzing.
Yeah.
Pete, your thoughts on the penalty?
Yeah, spot on from what Chris said, really. I'll be honest with you, lads. When I saw penalty Newcastle, I was already celebrating. I knew it was going to be a goal anyway. Because you boys know, even when Dubravka played for Newcastle, and I don't want people to think this is like a witch hunt or a real dislike to Dubravka. I've said this even when he was a player for our team. He's not good at saving penalties. I know he's made a couple of saves over the years, but in general, he's been generally poor at saving penalties. He's not been good, and fully expected Gordon to dispatch it. Someone put in the chat, I think it was Tino. I think I started. I'll just put it on just really quickly, Chris.
Yeah, go for it, mate.
He put Big Nick was circling like a vulture. And as you said, Chris, I've always been this way. Is that I always want my strikers to take penalties, but at the same time, I want Newcastle to put the ball in the net. So I want whoever is taking the penalty to do that. And Gordon, to be fair to him, is a very good penalty taker. I know he missed that one against Everton, but other than that, he has dispatched his penalties really well, and he's clearly been working on his technique in penalties, in his process. It's very similar in his in his kind of like, it's like clockwork in terms of what he does, his preparation. A little bit like Harry Kane's very much the same. They have like a routine that they go through, and Gordon's clearly been working on it. So, and his technique's very good. As you saw, he went down bottom left, nice and easy, well drilled into the corner. Against Spurs, it was up to the right, the top part of the goal. He can put penalties in a particular area, but put them in with conviction. Lovely penalty, never in doubt for me for the reasons that I've just said. And yes, at that point, there was a huge sigh of relief because we weren't then holding a 1-0 lead, and we know what we're like holding a 1-0 lead. Holding a 2-0 lead is a little bit different and a little bit more relaxing. And I have to say, lads, really quickly before Daz comes in, it came at a perfect time, right before half time, which was great because for me, it ended it. Although we're going to talk about what happened in the second half, for me, that 2-0 ended it as a contest in terms of them ever feeling that they could get a win or anything from that game. That was how I felt when that ball went in the net.
So was I, Pete. I wasn't feeling like that the last couple of seconds of the game, though. But we'll get to that in a second. Right, let's go to it into the second half. Tino and Mad Dog Tyndall pick up early yellow cards at the start of that second half. But there's not much in the second half, boys. 61 minutes. Bruno with an outside of the boot shot, tipped over by Dubs. 62 minutes. Burn is off. Hall is on. Mysterious illness. Hall is on. Willock is off. Miley is on. Miley went on to have a good game as well. 63 minutes. Gordon's corner also nearly goes in as Dubs reacts to it. Newcastle continue to go in search of that third. 73 minutes. Gordon hit the crossbar with a shot from distance. 74 minutes. A call is made, and it's by this man, Felix. Felix makes the call, and he sends on Wissa. This is the time we see Wissa with his debut. Big Nick comes off, Wissa's on, Gordon goes off, J7 is on. So we'll finally get to see Wissa in black and white. 79 minutes. Elanga cross to Steve, like that again, Joe, nearly put the ball in his own net. The Dubs save. 62 minutes, Elanga tries to bend it in, went close. 91 minutes, potential handball. Ramsey, he did raise his arm. It was kind of more a reaction thing than anything else. VAR check. Penno Burnley. Flemming with the kick, he scores. Ramsdale unlucky is because he did get a touch, but 2-1. But was it a penalty for you guys?
Yeah,
I think it was.
He moves his arm to. You're right though, Daz, in terms of it was more reactionary because anyone who's played football, you know yourself, if the ball's going past you and you kind of want to stop it and you know that your body's not going to get there, you automatically just want to put your arm out. But yeah, he sticks his elbow out and then goes like that, and it's like no. As soon as I must admit, when I saw it live, I didn't notice it, and then when I watched it back, I was like, yeah, it's a pen all day, it's a pen, and I had no complaints with that, no complaints. unfortunately, it was just one of those. It set up a very nervy end to the game. But yeah, it's a penalty for me.
Yeah, penalty for you, Pete, as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just instinct. I don't kind of like blame Ramsey for it. It's just instinct. When the ball's coming to you, you kind of like your body just naturally reacts, and your arms are up. You obviously your natural reaction as a human is to protect yourself. His arm just comes up, it bangs off his arm. It is a penalty because it's almost in an unnatural position, and it affects the direct movement of the ball. Had the ball just come straight in, Ramsey collects it and we carry on. So it's a bit of a shame at that point. And yeah, it was. I've got to be honest, lads. Burnley fans might not believe this or agree with this, but I thought it was really undeserved. They didn't deserve it. They didn't create enough to be able to score. And I felt it was harsh on the defence and the goalkeeper really that I think deserved a clean sheet from what they did today. Yeah, I just think that it was disappointing that we obviously conceded a penalty in the minutes that we did, because I do think we deserved that clean sheet today. We did enough to secure it, but it's not to be. It is what it is.
It is what it is. 94 minutes, Tonali's on, Ramsey's off straight after that incident as well. Wissa is in at the end. Should have done better to pass it to Elanga, really. He was kind of in 2 minds whether to shoot or to pass. In the end, he kind of just lifted across and ended up doing neither, really. But then at the real end, there's a free header at the whistle, and Burnley should have potentially equalised. There would not be shades on tonight. But full time, 2-1 at Newcastle, and loads of hugs for Dubs at the end as well. Happy with that, boys. Happy that we got our 3 points at least.
Well, yeah, because boys, that cross at the end. Like, it's a good job them two got mixed up, because that ball was going on target. I'm telling you. I think Flemming got in the way. Was it Flemming got in the way of? I want to say Foster. Was it Foster? They both kind of got in the way of each other, and neither of them went for the ball. But if they had a clear, if the fellow who jumped, if he wasn't there, I'm sure it was Lyle Foster. I could be wrong. He would have had a clear go on goal, and then it would have been all eyes on Ramsdale then. So yeah, really, really nervy end to the game. Really nervy first 5 minutes of the game. But in between, do you know what? I mean, we'll get into this, I'm sure, as we go through questions and comments and stuff like that. But I'm really surprised how there's so much negativity in terms of the performance and the getting the 3 points. I mean, a few people are saying, "Why have you got your glasses on? They didn't play well." We've got 3 points. We've got 3 points and we got the job done. And this is all, but resting the likes of Joe Linton, the likes of Tonali, the likes of Barnes, and Hall. Like, for me, I actually, yes, the game should have been more comfortable. Did we play to our very best? No. There were some outstanding performance. There were some who perhaps weren't great, but ultimately we did enough to get the 3 points. And in the Premier League, especially this season, it's incredibly difficult trying to consistently get 3 points. It only seems to be Aston Villa who can do it at the moment. Everybody else is either, they'll win one, lose one, draw one. The results are all over the place at the moment. And somebody, we won't come to it just yet because I want to go to Pete and Daz, but somebody mentioned about the league table, and I can't wait to see the league table because I haven't seen it.
Don't worry.
Very positive.
Yeah,
very positive. So yeah, but overall, yeah. I just see this as a valuable 3 points. Did we play our best? No. Did we get the 3 points? Yes. And that's all that matters. And we now look forward to the Magpies next weekend. So I'm buzzing.
And a bit of Champions League in between that as well. To get us through, to make the week a bit shorter. Pete, thoughts on the overall result? 2-1.
Yeah. Look, the second half was quiet. We could have and probably should have done a little bit more to try and kill the game, try and score a few more goals, be a little bit more effective in the final third, and really take the game to Burnley. Did we do that? Probably not. It was a very passive second half. But for me, the priority today was to win. Obviously, we would have loved to have won by 3, 4, 5 goals, have a clean sheet. Everybody's happy. Goal difference is up. That's what we'd have all wanted. But sometimes the game doesn't go like that. And I think today's result that we've just watched before we went live with Leeds and Liverpool just goes to show that these new promoted teams aren't easy to beat. They're not a Leicester or they're not like a Southampton or they're not an Ipswich where you can just steamroll them. I know Burnley have lost a few games recently, but they've all been relatively close. They've not been easily beaten or convincingly beaten. And Joe said that to us. He said that to us on the preview, that they've not been easily beaten. They're not an easily beating team, right? Yes, we should be winning those matches, and we did, but they've not always been convincing for the teams that have beat them. So we have to keep that in mind in what we're doing. This is a very much more competitive Premier League season than ever before. And we're going to look at that in the table in just a second. But for me, the priority is that we won the game. We've got 3 points on the board. We secured the win and we move on. It's as simple as that. Yes, there are going to be things and areas to pick out for the game. But you've got to remember, we were effectively playing a second string midfield in that three with the likes of Ramsey and Willett, who haven't had a lot of football. You've got Dan Burn at left back. You've got Elanga that hasn't really started many games recently. Okay, so you've got a real Gordon really hasn't been playing games recently either. Okay, because Barnes has been started. So you look at that, it was very much a second string like team to what we normally start with, and we still had more than enough to turn over Burnley whilst not being at 100%. So you've got to take the positives in that, because we still did well and enough to secure the points on the board and we move on. Because we've got to be honest, like lads, this is why we have a squad. Rotation is part of it. And you know what, right? All this rotation and giving other players a chance and having chop and changing, this is new for Newcastle United. This is new for Eddie Howe. We're used to just playing our best team, our best 11, game in, game out, and just letting them rock and roll. But we can't. We have to approach games better. And sometimes you get players that need time to adjust, that need minutes under their belt for different reasons. Nobby Clark just put in the chat 6 changes made. That's massive. 6 changes made is huge for a team going into this game, regardless of who you're playing against. But I will say this. This rotation that we're doing right now, with the amount of games that we're going through, will be absolutely worth its weight in gold come February, March time. When this busy period starts to slow down a little bit and we get the odd one week matches, we get time to properly rest and train and develop, and other teams are getting lots and lots of injuries and we're still maintaining our players, we're going to be in the ascendancy to be able to go and really take advantage of this. So although it's difficult and it's unusual for us, this, for me, is absolutely crucial to what we could potentially do in the back end of the season. So I'm not against it. I'm not mad at it. And I'm certainly not mad at the result. We got the result. We got the win. Performance wasn't great. Doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, as long as we can take it on and keep winning matches, going on to Leverkusen, going on to Sunderland in a massive derby on Sunday. But yeah, there we go. And I tweeted that out straight after the game, is that I knew people would get on the backs of the performance and how we didn't win by 4 or 5, or the second half we didn't put them to a sword. We all know that, and we all would have wanted better. But the reality is that we have 10 points from 12, and that was what I tweeted out, exactly the same. So Tony, spot on with that. Is that actually our form is good? It's not perfect, but it's bloody good, and it stands us in good stead. If we can take that on and get 3 points at the stadium, then we are in a great position. We are in a great position to really, really kick on and ask some more questions. And look, maybe that's a good time to get your thoughts and opinions on it, Daz, and maybe throw up the league after that, because I think the league tells its own story from what we can see.
No, I kind of said it earlier, really. I'm just delighted. It was a business-like performance. We got the job done. It would have been nice to score a few more goals and not have the panic at the very, very end. But job done. Move on for me. And I'm going to bring up the table in 1 second. But this is the point in the show that I'm going to have to ask you guys to lean forward a bit. So if you're at home as well, just lean forward a bit, because you're going to need to. Yes, it's the team photo. We all just love this part of the show. We don't have it often enough. Or this season we haven't in the last few games actually we have, but we see them all there. Dummett is there as well, Dummett's shirt is there as well, number 3.
Nice took that. Nice
It
touch
was
that
nice
from the lads. Obviously, if people don't know that, they probably do, but obviously he's announced his sort of retirement from football, and the players giving a little bit of paying homage to him and showing a little bit of respect. The captain and obviously Mark Gillespie, of course, is in there, always in there.
The captain, Mark Gillespie.
Yeah, captain, vice captain, captain, leader, legend. Yeah, I just thought it was a nice touch. To be fair, where's Wissa? Where's Wissa?
He's there. He's beside Tonali.
Next to the Tonali, lovely.
Under the W.
Lovely.
W
Brilliant
for Wissa.
stuff.
Where else would he be? Right. That's enough leaning in. Sit back, comfortable, and relax again now, because we're going to go to the table. We can lean in for this as well. Well, let's get it here on screen. Boom. So we are sitting in 11th spot, but it's also bunched, so don't take much notice of the league position at this stage. But look, if you look at it, if you just see in concert, and everyone's the same points as us. We've got Man United on 12 points, have to play on Monday night. Brighton, who have to play as well on 22. Spurs, who have played on 22. Liverpool, who have played, who just 1 point ahead of us. Let's say the champions, Liverpool, only 1 point ahead of us after their interesting summer. Sunderland, all the talk about their best season ever so far, and they're still just only 1 point ahead of us as we're going through a bit of a reshuffle, I'd say. But yeah, we're sitting. We're only. You see it here. We're only as the table stands. We're 3 points off fourth spot. Which is pretty amazing. And it just shows you that one result or putting a few results together can shoot you up the table. And if we look at our last 4 games, a win today, a draw, obviously the Spurs won the last second one, win and a win. So as you said already, 10 points from a possible 12. We're going in the right direction, boys. But thoughts on the table?
It just goes to show that with a little bit of consistency, what your season can be. You have to look at like the likes of Aston Villa, who got a great win today against Arsenal. They didn't score in their first 5 games, and now look at them. 1-9, sitting in third, 5 wins on the bounce, and they're looking in a really strong position. And it just, for all of the fact that we're looking and we're still in the bottom half, that can change very quickly. The key is consistency, continuing to win matches. That's all that matters. And this is the point that I made earlier on, is the disappointment about the performance and what we would have liked ideally ultimately doesn't matter. Because if you put 3 points on the board, you're going to be moving up the table. And very, very quickly, the narrative around Newcastle United could change with a couple of wins if we can continue it. So if we won the next 2 games, if we won the derby and then won the game after that, there's a high chance that we could be sitting where Everton are now. Just remember, lads, it was only last week that we put Everton to the sword quite comfortably and convincingly at Hill Dickinson Stadium, and look where they are. They're sitting in 5th spot. It's well up for grabs, lads, and for me, it's kind of giving me some renewed confidence that if we can continue to pick up points and win matches, that we can maybe achieve our objectives. Because the teams that we'd be normally challenging with and be around are not playing well and not convincing at the moment. The likes of Spurs, the likes of Brighton, Liverpool, Man United, they're not convincing. So with a little bit of consistency, we can be absolutely right up there. And we are now in a position where we've pretty much got everybody back that we need to in terms of key positions. Wissa's back in. Trippier will be back soon. Sven Botman will be back soon. They're not long-term injuries. Kraft is now fit from a squad perspective. You haven't really got any long-term injuries, so we've now got very close to a full squad to choose from. We're in a great position, lads. We really, really are, but we've just got to keep winning.
Thanks, Pete. Chris, there's probably even no need for you to be positive this week, but this is your time to shine, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely, Zaz. Yeah, everyone who will have seen me on the last match reaction when we got that draw against Spurs, I still remain really positive, and this is the reason, because I look at the league table, and as we've already pointed out, we're 3 points, boys, off 4th, and there's 7 teams above us at this present moment. And what I found interesting when I was listening to Pete and obviously looking at all the form, you can clearly see there the team. Well, if you look at Aston Villa, all green ticks. Then you've got Man City, who've got 3 ticks in the last 3 games. So Man City have won 3 on the bounce. Obviously, that's been huge for them. All the well, not all the teams, but the majority of the teams just above us, you can see they're inconsistent. And when you look down at our little though, you can see that consistency is building. Obviously, you know, the home win against Man City, we then went away to Everton, we won. We then got the draw against Tottenham, which was a bit disappointing, albeit that, you know, we conceded in the last few minutes. And then obviously the win today against Burnley, and you can only beat what's in front of you, can't you? But we know, boys, and maybe we can come to this in a second, we know the fixtures that we've got coming up, and we know that there's plenty of points there to be won. And I tell you what, this sets us up absolutely beautifully, doesn't it, for the derby, which is next weekend? Because what a carrot. What does Eddie Howe even need to give a team talk? You win today and you go above Sunderland, and everyone's been waxing lyrical, as we just said earlier, waxing lyrical over how good Sunderland's season's been. If we win on next Sunday, we will go above Sunderland, and I tell you what, we'll fly up that table. And all we need to do, boys, is just get a nice little run going, a nice little bit of momentum. The only thing I would say is in the back of my mind, and maybe this will be in the questions, I'm not sure. The only thing that's in the back of my mind is I'm loving this rotation in terms of, you know, managing minutes, etc. But there will come a point where there's certain games where you can't rotate too much. Today was a game where you could rotate absolutely, but like that Sunderland game, you're putting out your best 11. That's exactly what you're doing. You're putting out your best 11 for me, because it's a must-win game. You've got to go there, put your best team out, and go and take 3 points from the stadium. Like that's what we need to try and do. But yeah, loads of inconsistency throughout the league, and we've seen that. And there's such a good opportunity, boys, for us to really kick on here. It really, really is. I mean, like I say, when we get to the fixtures, I'm sure you can see when you look at the games we've got coming ahead. There's so many points up for grabs, and we can really make a difference. So we've obviously had where are we? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's today. Then we're into Leverkusen, Sunderland, Fulham in the Cup, the quarterfinal of the League Cup. Chelsea, Man United, Burnley, back to Burnley again as we start the second half of the season. That's it.
Yeah, but even just looking at the Premier League games, there's obviously a huge game at the weekend against Sunderland. Chelsea at home, massive. Chelsea are all over the place at the minute. And another point for them today. I looked at Chelsea's last 3 results. I think it was draw, loss, draw. So all of a sudden, Chelsea, I mean, there was a point where it was looking like Chelsea were going to break away with Arsenal and Man City. And now, and also, talking of Arsenal, you look at the top of the table, and apparently Arsenal won the league a few weeks ago. And now Man City are 2 points behind them. So it just shows, doesn't it, how quickly things can change. Yeah, Man City 2 points behind Arsenal. Who obviously in the last 3 games they've drew 1, won 1, lost 1. Obviously today the last minute loss against Aston Villa. So it's still wide open, boys. It really, really is. But no, I'm really positive. It was important to get the 3 points today. That's exactly what we've done. And I'm just looking forward to the next game, which is Leverkusen. But I'm not going to lie, I've got one eye on that derby on Sunday.
Right. Let's move away from the table, and before we go to the comments and questions, let's do the draw for our loaded ultras. So if you are a loaded member, and as I get the wheel on screen, I'll just explain the wheel, and then Chris, you take us away. And then after that, as to what's happening with this draw. So if you're not familiar with it, here's a spinning wheel with all the names of our members listed here. There's 122 in the draw. It's spinning away there. Has been all show since Chris reminded me we better do a spinning wheel. But what's happening, Chris?
To be fair, mate, I reminded you late as well, because you did ask me to remind you earlier than on the day, but I only reminded you about...
During the show is no harm, Chris.
Yeah. But as usual, Daz, ultimate professional, got it ready.
No, it's okay.
So, in terms of the draw, we're going to give away 2 £25 vouchers. Now, Pete updated us the other day and said that apparently Newcastle are now doing gift cards or gift vouchers. So hopefully I will be able to send you a £25 Newcastle United gift voucher. If not to worry, we can just make sure that we send you £25 cash over. But either way, we're going to be giving away 2 £25 vouchers today to whoever is lucky enough to win on the spinny wheel.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Spin number 1.
Good luck, people.
Good
Best
luck.
of luck.
Good luck. Good luck. Espen Alexander Romero Barde.
Congratulations, Aspen.
I think Espen is from. Am I wrong in thinking that Espen is from Norway? I might be wrong there, but I remember Espen being in the chat before. But get in contact, Espen, and we will sort that prize out for you.
Congratulations, Aspen.
Absolutely. Brilliant stuff.
Brilliant.
Right, prize number 2. Let's go.
Love the spinny wheel. I love the way you put us on the middle of it.
Oh, so close, Pete. No,
Ian Calvert.
Ian Calvert. Congratulations.
Ian Calvert, well done.
Well done, Ian. Brilliant.
Nice.
Stole it off from the debt.
Oh,
Of course, if we won, we'd spin again, so don't worry
Of
about
course.
that. But congratulations, Ian, on your prize as well. So that's Espen and Ian are prize winners this time out. That is a spinning wheel.
Get in touch with us, Espen and Ian. Just either send the loaded X account a message us on YouTube. Get in touch with us wherever you can, or even just contact one of us 3 individually, and we'll get it sorted out for you.
Yes, so you have a choice of you can also contact us on the loaded mag NUFC info@gmail.com if you don't have social media, that is, and can't get this. But yeah.
Congratulations.
Absolutely. It's interesting looking at that table. So we're the bottom of we're the top of the bottom half. We could just shoot up that. They've just been looking at the sky and it's just
That was delayed reaction there.
No, they could. Honestly, it is so up for grabs. It really, really is. And the one thing I just wanted to add on the fixtures is that we are out of our next 4. We've got 3 of them away from home. So if we are going to pick up points, we've got to start or continue to do that away from home.
Yeah.
We've got Chelsea. Then what is it? I think it's Fulham. Let me just have a quick look. So I just had it up a second ago. Not Fulham. Sorry, we've got Chelsea at home, but then we've got Sunderland away, Man United away, Burnley away. There are 3 away games before the turn of the year, so they are crucial if we want to pick up crucial points. We're going to have to do it from away from home. So there's something to mention. One other mention now, just really quickly, is on Yoane Wissa. We haven't really talked about Yoane Wissa when he come off the bench. I was really impressed with him coming off the bench. Obviously, not kicked the ball for a long time properly in anger for a competitive match, and I thought he was really, really good. And you could instantly see the difference in the way in which we played. Yeah. And for the moments that he came onto the pitch, you saw Burnley were very much pinned back, because they were really worried about his running in and behind. I thought his connections were really good with players on the pitch, one touch, link play, movement. He was always getting himself into the middle of the box. He probably should have put one on the plate for Elanga late on in the game, where he kind of runs through. And I'm not sure why he chips the ball. If he just puts it on the ground along the ground, Elanga's got a tap in. So I'm not sure why he did that. But look, that's rustiness, and that's just understanding that just needs to be developed. But I was really enthused by how sharp Yoane Wissa was. We've heard it from journos, and the journos have heard it from players, how good and how sharp he looks in training. He looks sharper and more on it and at it than I expected him to be with the amount of time he's had out. Because let's not forget, he didn't have a preseason either. So it's been a significant period of time. Someone said it's been like close to 6 months, I believe, without him kicking the ball, really. That's a significant amount of time. And I just wanted to throw out there that I thought I was really, really impressed with him. I thought he had a really, really good game. So I just wanted to just drop that in there.
Yeah. No, it's a really good point, mate. I think he he made an impact when he came on, didn't he? And you're right, you could see that the players were responding to him coming on the pitch, and like you could tell, like as much as the fans were excited, you could tell the players were excited as well, and they were probably thinking, "What's this lad got to offer?" But he did look threatening, and yeah, as you say, the ball. He could have hit the ball into the box a little bit earlier, and he didn't. He chose to kind of go out wide, but then he looked to play the ball in the box, but unfortunately, he just overhit like the little chip or dink into the box that he did. But you forgive him that, as you say. That's probably match sharpness and maybe being a little bit rusty. But no, all the signs looked encouraging, and yeah, it was great to just see him get on the pitch.
Yeah. Looking forward to see what he can do for us. Right, we go to some questions and comments.
Yeah, let's do it. We've got lots and lots. Oh, we've got a couple of super chats. So let's get to those. Okay, so firstly, Adam McCarthy has been a member for 46 months. Thank you very much, Adam, for all the support. EIO. If only we beat Spurs, we'd be fifth tonight. I mean, do you know what? It's true, Adam, and we were so close to doing so. But yeah, I mean, obviously, if we had the extra 2 points, where would we be? If we had the extra 2 points, would we be fifth or sixth? Would we be?
I don't want to think about it. I want to concentrate on because, like, if we could be top of the league the way in certain situations. All the different. There was a good graph actually during the week of if the games ended on 90 minutes, where we would be. Would we be up at fifth? That's excluding today or something like that. So we would have been up there challenging.
The key is that we're in touching distance, and the league is so tight, as we've mentioned, that we are still within an opportunity to be in a position. Because I do genuinely believe that if we go and beat Sunderland next week, and then go on and beat Chelsea, for example, in those next 2 Premier League games, and we're right up there, I do believe that once we're there, I believe that we've got a great chance of staying there. The motivation to stay in those positions, it will almost galvanize the players, the manager, the club, knowing that we're sitting in those positions and going, right, we're now back at the table. We just need that win and those set of results to go away that propel us up to that position. So that's why I just continue to just maintain consistency is key right now. Keep winning matches, keep putting points on the board, keep asking questions, because at some point it will knit together. You only have to look at the January fixtures. I think 4 out of the 6 that we play in January are at home, or 3 or 4 out of the 6. We know what home comforts are like for Newcastle United. If we can do what we need to do this month and win games away from home and put those points on the board, and then we have those home comforts, we could be looking at a completely different situation come January. And let's not forget that when players are looking at Newcastle United, they'll be looking at our position and what we're capable of this season, and that could be the difference in attracting 1 or 2 players to come to the club in January. That we might be looking at. So there's lots of benefits to it, but I'm positive. You know what? I'm positive, lads. I really am. I really am.
I'm positive, but
go on, mate.
Sorry, Pete. I'm positive, but I don't want to get too excited about it yet, because I think you made a good point earlier, Pete, about the rest that some of our players are having now, and hopefully the rotation still continues as well in the games we can, because that will stand to us later in the season. And if you remember, I remember in great detail our race for Europe and our battles on tabletop, and it was so yo-yo. Well, it was such a roller coaster. We'd win 1 week, we'd lose the next, we'd draw one. It was very, you couldn't put together, no one could put together a consistent one. But if we have something different, like maybe a signing or even a loan signing or something, I know there's some money to spend in January, that little bit of difference may elevate us towards Champions League spots. But it's hard to get very excited about that yet. It's still a long way to go. The way form is key as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, now to super chats, and this is a really good super chat actually from Nobby Clark, and he makes a great point. Nobby Clark says, "Thank you for the super chat, Nobby. Pires red means he's banned for our away fixture. Who would have thought that? Because he's going to miss 3 games. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, that is a mad stat, that, isn't it?
Love it. Yeah. Absolutely love that.
Oh my God.
So
And he was decent putting the ball in the box with them from good corners.
He put some dangerous crosses in, didn't he? He did. Right. Okay. Now we go to LBTC10Q, and he says, "Thank you, LB, for the super chat. We got a Mackham player sent off for you boys. You're welcome." And that was Luke 09, wasn't it? I think.
Was it Luke 09?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. So Luke 09 will not be playing in the derby. So yeah, one less player for the Mackhams next Sunday.
Cheers, LB.
Cheers, LB. Yeah, and Tino, thank you very much for your super chat as well. Talking of the derby, lads, are you confident about the derby? Daz, go on. What do you think? Where's your head at?
Yes, I am, and you know what? I listening to a segue, but listening to your though I didn't get to make the big game, big match preview, but listening to Joe describe Sunderland and his time in Sunderland, I thought it was class. I'm going to clip that bit up and put it out as a short because his description of Sunderland was interesting to say the least. For someone that's never been to Sunderland, I've never been there, but yeah, I am confident. Definitely confident. I think we up our game. I know it's away from home, but we up our game. It's never an easy game. It's not. It's a derby game. It can go either way, but I'm confident. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
We are a superior team for sure.
Absolutely. Pete, are you confident going into it?
Yeah, why not? No reason to not be confident. Of course, it'll be a cauldron-like atmosphere, but we've experienced that. The likes of Marseille, we got that feel at Everton before the game, but we silenced them very quickly. Like we've got players that have handled big situations and big like cauldron-like atmospheres before, so this should be nothing new. But if we play the way that we can play, and we know that we can play, we can do this. We've got a manager that tactically can put a formation and a style of play together for a one-off game like this to make a difference. So I back the manager and I back the players to be able to go out there and do the business. And let's not forget, yes, it was a different time for Sunderland, but we went there and dismantled them previously. So there'll be a little bit of scar tissue there with Sunderland. Yeah. You know what? I expect a lot of emotion from Sunderland, and that's not always a good thing. No. And I think if we can play into that, I think we can make it a benefit to us. But them getting absolutely tucked away nicely by Man City today won't be the most positive thing for them factored into that game on Sunday. And yeah, so for me, I'm confident. I think we can go there and win. I think we can potentially produce a season-defining statement, and that could be the catalyst to really propel us into the second half of the season. So yeah, I'm backing our boys all day long.
Yeah.
How about you, Chris? Are you confident?
Yeah, I am. I mean, obviously, derby games, they are a bit nervy. I'm still scarred, as Pete mentioned, about the fact we went on that horrible run against Sunderland where they just seem to beat us all the time. I still remember Paolo Di Canio going on his knees.
Yeah.
And that, by the way, was when we should have been beaten them. So you could kind of say it was against the odds as well. So yeah, I would never say it's a given. I'm not saying that I am wholly confident that we will go and get 3 points, but I think that we can. And I think as long as we bring our best selves, there's no reason why we can't. And fingers crossed on injuries. Obviously, that was another positive from today. It appears that everyone got through safely. Nobody pulled up, nobody went off injured. So there's no reason why we can't. But I'm not going to be going into it super confident because derbies are different. Derbies are always different games, but there's no reason why we can't win. And as I said before, I think that the carrot of us, being able to say if we win this game today, we go above them. There's no greater incentive, in my opinion, because Sunderland have had a really strong start to the season. But for us to go to their gaff, beat them, and then go, oh yeah, by the way, we're ahead of you now. Like that'd be lovely. That would be lovely. So yeah, why not? Why not? As you boys said. Let's see. Oh, another super chat. Thank you, Benny Boy, who's just put in the super chat. Thank you so much.
Cheers, Benny Boy.
Benny Boy says, I trust Eddie and our players to go and get the job done against Sunderland. On paper, we have the superior team, but I'm still very wary of them. Totally agree. They have a never say die attitude and look very good. And I think, do you know what? That is a fair point. I think Sunderland have probably, arguably, been one of, if not the shock of all the teams this season. You know, they've looked very, very good, and they've beaten some very good teams as well. So, you know, derby games are always different, as I mentioned earlier. But yeah, Benny, thank you for the super chat. And yeah, I think you're on the same page as us. We go in superior team, we go in confident, but we've got to still be wary. We've got to bring our best selves. We can't go in 50-60% because otherwise we could be in for a rough day. So let's see. It's a
cup final. It's a cup final. It's a league game, but it's a cup final. It's almost like a one-off game, and you know, I genuinely back us in those one-off games. I think tactically, emotionally, we have players of significant experience that know how to handle emotional moments. You only need to go back to March this year. In that cup final, we were emotionally and tactically able to kind of manage ourselves through a really, really important moment for this club. And once you do something like that, it stays with you. And the derby will have that type of feel to it on Sunday. There's no doubt about it. And I back our boys. As long as we're doing the right things and we're not making mistakes, I back us to do enough to win those games. As good as Sunderland are in terms of working hard and that never say die attitude, I agree with it. They do give you a chance. They're not the best defensively. They've got an excellent goalkeeper, by the way, a superb goalkeeper that they've got for absolute peanuts, but they give you a chance, and so it'll make for a very, very good game.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm hoping we see some of this at the end of the game. Yeah, come on.
Me too.
Hopefully so. I need to give a shout out, by the way, boys, to Leeds fans, and Trippier for Prime Minister has reminded us of this. 3-3 Leeds against Liverpool. Leeds fans singing Isaac's a cunt, ole, ole. So, yes, Leeds fans, love that.
Yes,
love that. Absolutely love that. Thank you for bringing that one up, Trippier for Prime Minister. Right, let's see. There is one I am going to come to, but I just want to try and fizz through a couple before we wrap up. This is a good one from Robert English. Robert English says, when do you think Wissa overtakes the Rat in goals scored this season? I don't think it'll be long.
He needs to start starting games as well first. I hope it's not long. What has the Rat got?
One.
Yeah, one.
Yeah.
I mean,
next weekend. So.
For me, that's another positive element on Yoane Wissa today. Is that he looked dangerous, he looked threatening, he created 2 or 3 threatening moments just in that 15 minutes he was on the pitch. So, you know, you look at that, and I think he's going to create goal scoring opportunities for himself. Either he'll create it or be in a position to take them. I don't think it'll be long before he scores his first goal. For Newcastle United, whether he comes off the bench or whether it's he starts matches. I'm confident he's gonna do the business. So I think in all competitions he's got 2 right.
He scored against Southampton when it was laid on a plate for him.
Yeah.
Like Easer.
And then obviously the West Ham one, so he's got 2 to beat. So yeah, I don't think it'd be long. I don't think it'd be long at all.
No. Let's see. Where else should we go? Yeah, Sean Clarney makes a really good point, lads. We are literally 3 points behind 4th and haven't played in any way, shape, or form 75% of our capabilities. And I think that's why we're also excited, to be honest, Sean, because you know we acknowledge very few games this season where we've come off and gone, whoa, like we were top notch there. We've had moments, we've had periods during games where we've gone, we were really good, but from start to finish. I'm trying to think of it if there was a game start to finish where we were absolutely outstanding. But this will come with time. I mean, let's not forget we're only at the start of December, and this is why, like I mentioned at the very start of the show, I think the more that we rotate, as long as we do it very carefully, we'll start to reap the rewards further on. And Pete mentioned it as well. You know, later on, we we are going to reap the rewards, I think, and I think we're going to have a strong end to the season. But it's about getting up there and staying up there. I think that's going to be the key. I need to mention this, boys, because a few people are saying it, and we'll do this as the last question because there were a few paired together. So I'll give you the story. Okay, so Chris says, I was hoping we'd upgrade on Willock and Murphy and possibly sell them in January, but we actually bought 2 players in Elanga and Ramsey who are no better than them. Totally wasted the Isaac money. James Saunders says, obviously a Villa fan, how's my boy Ramsey playing for you? He's better in the 10 or left mid. Or left midfield. He's playing in the wrong position for you. You guys need to utilise Ramsey better. And then other people saying Kenosis, says Ramsey was non-existent. Distracted Hodgson says, does anyone think Ramsey just needs to hitch a few shots first time? It's like he's trying too hard. He had that really good opportunity, didn't he, where he opened his body out, nice little bit of intricate play, opened his body out, hit it, and you knew straight away because he went to the floor, he's banging on the floor because he's just frustrated because, 9 times out of 10 he gets that on target. There was another one on Ramsey as well, which is why I paired them. Chris says, Elanga and Ramsey are not upgrades on Murphy and Willock. Fact, waste of 100 million. Convince me if I'm wrong. So I wanted to come to this because, we always like to provide a balanced view on loaders. We won't just say everything's all, sun and roses, I was going to say. I think that's the wrong expression. But, we like to see both sides of things. And obviously we bring up, the comments that people like to talk about. So, P, what are your thoughts on Ramsey? Is it too early to judge him? Obviously, throwing Willock into that conversation as well. Squad rotation players at the moment, those two very much. But is there more to come from them? Are you looking to maybe move on? I'm not going to say Ramsey because he obviously won't leave. But are you still looking to move Willock on in January? Where's your head at with it all?
Yeah, I still think we need another midfielder. Another midfielder that offers something a little bit different to add balance on that right-hand side. Because really, although Willock played on that right the midfield today, and they did interchange him and Ramsey throughout that first half especially, I do think we need a naturally right centre midfielder as an alternative to Bruno for games like this, with a little bit more creativity and someone that can break the lines. And Willock will be the one to be sacrificed in order to allow that type of deal to happen. So Willock, I think, will be the next one sold in that midfield. I understand why people think that the money paid for both of those players doesn't quite justify what we're seeing right now. I would say we need to be more patient with both of them. The reason being is both of them haven't started a huge amount of games, and you need time to build up. I think we probably need to be more patient with Ramsey than Elanga. Jacob Ramsey, I think that was his 3rd start this season, and his last start before that was at Benfica. And when he played against Benfica, he was very good. I thought he had a really good game. I don't think Jacob Ramsey played bad today. I thought he had a good game. Was he amazing, scoring goals, creating chances? No, but I thought he turned over the ball very well. I thought he was really good in possession. I thought he made some really good connections on the pitch. And I don't think he had a bad game at all. I think we just need to continue to give him minutes, continue to start playing him. I think he needs to play more games, and he needs to build up that consistency and continuity on the pitch. Because it is about that. If you're going to start today and then spend the next 2 or 3 games on the bench, and 2 or 3 of those games you're not even going to get off the bench, which is what's happened with Ramsey, by the way. He's come in and he's played a match and started and done well, and then been out and barely kicked the ball for the next 3 or 4. How can you build up any sort of consistency in your game when that's happening? So I do think he needs to run a game. So that's where I think we need to be more patient with Ramsey. I think technically and his ability, I think we will see it absolutely moving forward. So I've got no issues with Ramsey. He's just developing at a different rate to some of the other players. However, with Elanga, I get the frustration with him. I don't think he was bad today. He helped to get the red card. I thought he was good in attacking phases, trying to face up his man and go at him, trying to get crosses in. Was unlucky not to score with his left foot in the second half. It was a decent effort, just wide of the far post. he's picking up slowly. He's a slow burner, I think, with Elanga. And I think that's what's frustrating fans, because as fans, we kind of want to see it right now. We want to see that quality come through. But I'm just going to maintain what I've been saying for weeks now, is that some players come in and hit the ground running, like Nick Voltemada, come in and be absolutely brilliant. With other players, it takes a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And I think we just need to be a little bit more patient with Anthony Elanga. He needs to continue to start matches like he did today. I think, for me, Elanga's no good off the bench. Some players are just not good off the bench. Elanga's one of them. He doesn't affect the game in the same way off the bench. I think he needs to start matches, and I think he needs a goal as well. I think Elanga gets a goal or an assist, like on a regular basis, will start to really build his confidence in him, knowing what he can do and what his importance is to the team. But of course, with every player, you're gonna kind of look at them with regards to their transfer value. And obviously, the 52 million that we paid for Elanga and the 40 million we paid for Ramsey isn't quite showing up yet. But as I'm going to finish on this, as I maintained on Tuesday and as I maintained previously, we said the same thing about Lewis Hall and we said the same thing about Tino Livramento when they signed. People were questioning their price tags, wasting money, not playing up to their value. And now, a couple of years down the line, we see the value in these players. We might have to do something similar and just be patient. Yes, they're not doing it right now, but in a year or two's time, because they're not going anywhere. They're going to be here. They've signed long-term contracts. We're not just going to sell them because we wouldn't get our money back. We'd get nothing of it. We'd actually be in deficit if we went and sold those players on now, because we wouldn't get anywhere near those values. They're going to be here for at least a couple of years. We have to get behind them and see and watch their development. And I believe that Eddie Howe will get the best out of them, and we will be talking about them in a couple of years' time in a different way.
For me, I'm not going to repeat the exact same thing with that Pete said, because I agree 100% with what he said there. I'll just add one thing. This wouldn't be a comment or a question if there was little tweaks today. Elanga first. He was in a goal when the player was sent off. If he was allowed to take that shot, which he was taken out, it's a different conversation. And at the end of the game, if Wissa had squared the ball properly to Elanga, he finished it. He could have had 2 goals today. Not his fault. He did well today. It's going to be judging, I think, towards the end of the season and how he's performing, how he's settled in. And Ramsey, he was very unlucky today. There's 2 chances where he could have potentially scored, and the handball incident that led to the penalty. Give him time. I think let's give him a season, each of them a season, and see how they're performing there towards the end of the season, and then make our minds up. But yeah, I agree with what people are saying. I thought they'd be able to hit the ground running a bit better than they have, but you have to give them a bit of time. It's, as we have every player that comes to Newcastle, and we judge them then after a period of time.
Absolutely.
That was it.
I agree with you, both you boys. I think you articulated that very well. But yeah, that is the questions, boys.
That is the questions. Make sure you smash that like button on the way out as well, and share the show as well to other people. Get the like-minded Newcastle fans the chance to come and watch our shows live or catch up. We will be back during the week. A big Champions League game on during the week, along with the derby coming up as well. So plenty of shows coming up on Loaded. For the night that's in it, and for that goal from the corner for Bruno, I think we're playing out with Bruno, boys. See you on the next one. Have a good night, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Come on!
'Cause sooner or later in life, the things you love, you lose. But you've got the love I need to see me through. You got the love.